Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Magic Friday. I'm your host Jamie D. Grant and we are in the thick of it. We're doing gigs these days. Busy. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was, I guess it was a couple years ago. I've been doing Magic Friday since about, I just fixed this table. It's a long story. Quite happy. It's a macrame table that a friend of mine sat on because he thought it was a stool, and he shattered it. You know what, this has nothing to do with Magic Friday, but I'm quite happy about this. So it's got three middle pieces, like it comes apart. It's like a collapsible table, but he flared the edges when he sat on it. So there was no way to fix it because it's really hard to flare metal, like the joints. But I noticed that the feet were the same pieces as the shaft, so I switched the feet with the shaft and I fixed my table. So how do we get onto that? I don't know. It holds my props for today, and the props for today are this trick, or sorry, this is DVD. This is by Matthew J. Dowden. One deck, 14 tricks, 24 hours. Now, the reason why we're going to talk about this particularly is about a year ago, or it was a number of years ago, I wanted to come up with 10 card tricks that I was going to do till the day I die. That sounds really easy. You know, if you could see my library to the left or on the staircase here or behind here, thousands of books and DVDs in my office here, you would think that 10 would be a cakewalk. But it's not, and this is probably just for me, it's not a cakewalk. I don't know why. I mean, I know hundreds of card tricks, but if you were to ask me on a given day, perform 10 of your best material, I'd have to sit and think about it. I'm definitely not Bill Malone, where I have an arsenal of thousands where I can just rock out. I mean, I have them at my disposal, but how many do I actually remember? Remember that I can sit down at someone's house. This is the other thing. It has to be ungaffed, no trick decks or anything. I go to someone's house, they pull out a deck of cards and say, Jamie, we want to see 10 card tricks. And so I've been on this search for a couple years of finding these 10 card tricks that I really want to take with me to the grave. And I'm getting close. And I'm happy to say that I found a new one courtesy of Matthew J. Dowden. The trick that I did was called Listen Ear. So I did this all day Friday. There's a couple things that I really like about this trick. So let me show you what the audience sees. This is my new black aluminum vault, by the way. Quite happy with that. A little self-promotion there. Great thing about the vault, it's also a cool way to store the box. Love it. Okay. So what I did on Friday is this. Everybody knows that magicians know how to shuffle cards and control cards and know where cards are, but there's one thing in poker, for example, at the casinos that they do every time to defeat any chance of magicians or card cheats. There's one foolproof method of eliminating any ability to control the deck. Does anyone know what that is? Usually a poker player or someone will say, cut the deck. That's right. After every shuffle, if you ever see a poker, they actually cut the deck. That eliminates any chance of cheating. Okay? So I'm going to get you to, we're doing a magic trick obviously, so I got to get you to pick a card. I'm going to get you to pick a card, but then we're going to cut the deck. Well, I'll show you. So do me a favor, pick a card. It doesn't matter what card they pick any card, they pick this one. Which I can obviously see because I'm looking at a camera, but you wouldn't. Okay, do me a favor, put it back on top. Now, to make sure that there's no way we can know where this card is, we're not shuffling yesterday. Okay, we're gonna go to the new foolproof way is the cut. Simple as that. There's no way. So here, take the cards, do me a favor, turn them face up so you can make sure the cards are all different. Give them a cut. That's it. There's no way I could know. Now do me a favor, turn the cards face over. Let's pick a number between 1 and 10. I don't know. 3. Tap the deck 3 times. You know what you just did there? What? You just put your card third from the top. You just did that. 1, 2, 3, and sure enough, third from the top. That's it in a nutshell. That what I just did there, that actually went really fast. Lots more times on Friday would be cut, 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 cut. The great thing about this trick is you can have people cut it a bunch of times, and God, it's awesome. I mean, what is not to love about that? I mean, we'll try it again. So they pick any card, whatever. Goes on. We cut the deck. You can cut it again. You can cut it again. You give it to them, turn it face up. They cut it. They cut it again. You know, you can cut till the cows come home, really. And then they keep going. And that's the great thing about this is you can pass it along from the group, right? And then turn it over. And I told them, I think, well, I know, Matthew J. Dowden, Matt, he has them listen, like he has it riffled near my ear, and he can tell them your card is second from the top. I liked having them tap. You just put your card second from the top, and there it is. That's what the audience sees. How it went. Anytime you can do, we all know this, anytime you can do magic where the spectator gets to hold the cards and gets to do things with the cards, it's way better than watch me. In my opinion, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all that stuff, but in terms of working gigs, or, you know, being at people's houses and, you know, they pull out a deck of cards, the more that they can do and the less that you can do, the more magical the experience. I think it was Michael Weber told me one time that the most magical thing is turning a card, making a card change in someone's hands. Like, and that's a good segue into this. So, which is, we often forget the easy stuff. I know that seems crazy, but we're in it. We're in the thick of it. If you're watching Magic Friday, you're pretty much deep in the Magic game. I can assure you that. No one casually is watching 10 minutes of these videos and, you know, on a Friday night eating popcorn. If you're watching this, you're a magician. And when you're a magician, we forget what that feeling was like when we saw the first card trick, you know? The first simple thing we had shown to us is amazing. So this DVD, One Deck, 14 Tricks, 24 Hours, I think gets overlooked because it's easy. That's plain and simple. I'd never even heard of this. I mean, I knew who Matthew J. Dowden was, but I didn't even hear this of this DVD. A friend of mine, and it was from a couple years ago, I think. I don't think it was recent. A couple years ago, said, you know, Jamie, you gotta check out this DVD one day. There's stuff on it, and I just didn't get around to it till last week. And sure enough, he's right. It's amazing how much stuff we can overlook because we have thousands of, you know, available, you know, magic available to us. So it's interesting. You never know what you're gonna find. And what's makes Magic Friday so cool is I have, you know, stuff sent to me, and I buy stuff, and I watch every second of a DVD because you never know what's gonna appear. You never know what little hint or tip someone's gonna have. So this is what. So let's get back to the actual trick. So how it went. So Friday. Awesome, all day Friday. It's fast, it's easy, it's with a deck of cards. They get to hold it. There's interaction there. They get to cut. They get to pass it to their friends to cut. There's always interaction when someone's holding a deck of cards. And it's great. I like the idea. This will become the JDG tip later, so we'll get to that. I'll get to that in a second. But I like the idea that there's that kind of poker theme of there's no way I could know. And then they're making the magic happen in their hands. So the difficulty is, there is no difficulty. There is. The difficulty is audience control. You have to control, anytime you give someone a deck of cards, you need to keep your eyes open. You gotta be sharp because you're gonna get some guy, you know, the usual. You gotta have audience management. So if you're very clear in your instructions, easy. Difficulty, I think this is a DVD of self-working card magic, and that's exactly what it is. There was no moves at all. Angry Bob had no idea. Boom. Angry Bob, whoosh, floored. When Angry Bob's silent, you've got Angry Bob on the ropes. He did demand to see the deck after. Let me see that, give me that. And that's not necessarily even a problem. So yeah, so Angry Bob, floor. I mean, I think this is, I know Matthew advertises as a magician fooler, and I think it would. I think it would get some people on the run. And someone like Angry Bob, you know, the working kind of, that somewhat knows a few things about magic, they're gonna have no clue. What else can I tell you? Okay, so the JDG tip. The JDG tip was, for me, the fact that instead of having them listen, and you know, so Matthew has them riffle the cards for me. Ah, your card sounds like it's 8 from the top. The JD tip for me, the JDG tip for me was I like making the spectator do the magic. So I had them tap, and you put the card there. You just put your card fourth from the top with your magic fingers there, and sure enough, it is. That's great. And what's great, this trick is easy to remember, which is key for me, for my top 10. What else can I tell you? There's a couple other tricks on here that I liked. On his forethought, which is the first effect on the DVD, he had a really interesting shuffle control, which I never considered. It's just, it's funny. I never once, he does something that it just would have slipped by me. I never thought of it. And yeah, kudos to him for pointing that out, because I'm going to use that in other effects. So I think that is about it. I'm talking really fast today because I'm really busy and I got things to do. But let's, what the audience saw, you saw how it went. It was fantastic. Difficulty, audience control, which you should have down pat by now anyway. Angry Bob, whoosh, on the mat. And the JDG tip, I like always putting the control into the spectators' hands. I want them to perform the magic. I know there's a big conversation of, do I have the power or do I want to give them the power? And I always give the spectators the power. I don't need to be, I'm there for a good time, and if I can make them go away, I mean, no one's gonna go back to their friends the next day and say, you're not gonna believe it, but I now have the power to tap a deck and make it go 8 from the top or whatever. They're gonna go back and say, Jamie made me do this, or Jamie let me do this, or had me do this. So even though you're putting it into their hands, you still come out the winner. And I'm the winner for watching Matthew J. Dowden's One Deck 14 Tricks 24 Hours. There you go. Happy Magic Friday, or it's Sunday today. Have a good week, and I will see you next time.